Dele, everyone. And I think tonight, we are doing the first online teaching in this Tibetan New Year, the wood breaking year. So, Dele, and also it happened to be the February 14, which is according to the Western calendar, which is called Valentine's Day, on which we share love to each other. So, this is a perfect day to talk about the Buddha nature, because the Buddha nature is the unity of great compassion and emptiness. Therefore, and also it is a very special day, month, which we call the Chumtul Dawa in Tibetan, which means the month of miracle, or miraculous month. Anyway, even though I have nothing much to share, I'm extremely happy to have this wonderful opportunity to share my little wisdom of Buddhism with all of you, the wonderful Dharma brother, sister, and friends. Okay, anyway, we will do the opening chants now for tonight. We will do the opening chants exactly the same way that has been done in the past by the teachers who have already taught starting from the January 3rd, 2024. So, well, I hope you all know how important the devotion is in Buddhist practice in general, and particularly in Vajrayana practice. For example, how much blessing we get from reciting the lineage supplication totally depends on how much devotion we have to the root guru and the gurus of lineage. So, therefore, let us start the supplication now with uncontrived devotion to the root guru and the gurus of lineage. Please keep your two palms joined at your heart center while we are reciting the supplication. Now I'm going to start reciting, so please join me. It has many melody, but usually I use only one that was composed by His Holiness. So I'm going to use the same one. Du song xie jia wen jian ga ma ya ba qie xie zhong ye ge ban zhen nan dang zhe da sa song ya ba de zhou ba so sab lam cha ya che la ma ye be nya me ro ngo ye ta ya bo ga ge la so wa yan de so ye ga ge la ma na ge ba ze no ye nam da ra jin ge lo yin lo yin gong ge gang yang ba ra song ba xin se na ra ge la ye cha xin me ba da sen de re de ta che be gom je la nian guo xian ba ye me ba ra xin ge lo me guo gong ge go wo ra song ba xin me ma de goy shebe la ma la yon do so wa de be gom che la je me goy ge wa shen ge lo ye me gom ge me shi ra song bai jin ai sha do be ngồi wo so ma de ma jin de ga ra jo be gom je lo gom za lo da tra va ra jin ge lo nam do ngo wo shu go ra song bai xin jie ya ma ye jie ya xia wa ya la ma yan ga ya ro la ba ra cha ra be gom jie la de me do bara jin ge lo ge wa go do ya da ya la ma da tra me je ge wa la long je sa da ya la ge yen de ra zo ne do re je shan ge o ya ba ya ra to sho do re je shan ge o ba ya ra to sho. Now, before we chant the verses of the uh, taking, engendering bodhicitta, taking refuge, and so forth, let's do some meditation on what we call the excellent beginning of precious bodhicitta. So, whatever we do during this session will be on the Mahayana path and beneficial for both oneself and others. So, let's do a little bit meditation on bodhicitta. Okay, now let's chant the verses of refuge, bodhicitta, the four immeasurable thought, and seven branch prayer together. We will chant the verses of refuge and bodhicitta 3 times first. After that, we will continue with the verses of four immeasurable thought 3 times and the verses of seven branch prayer 1 time. Please join me in the chanting of verses with full of faith, devotion to the Guru and Triratna, and compassion for all sentient beings. Let's chant with the Anjali Mudra. Please keep your 2 palms together, joined at your heart center, and let's chant now. Sangye Judan Sogen Shonam Lo Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyapson Dage Jin Soen Gebe Sonam Ge Rola Benjira Sangye Drupara Sho Sangye Judan Sogen Shonam Lo Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyapson da ye je zo ye be so nam ge Rola Bencher Sangye Dubarasho Sangye Shudan Soye Shonam Changsho Bardo Dane Gabsonji Dage Jensoy Gebe Sonamgi Rola Bencher Sangye Dubarasho Semjen tamjen dewa dan deve gyodan dabara gürji. Dungal dan dungal ge gyodan davara gürji. Dungala mebe dewa daba da men davara ye gürji. Yeren çadan yedan drabe. Tanyam çembola nebara gürji. Semjen tamje dewa dan deve gyodan dabara gürji. Dungal da dungal ge gyodan da var ge je dungal me ben da va da ba da men da var ge je yere jada jedan da be da nyam che bola ne boran gyo ra je sem je tam je de va da de be gyodan da ba ge je dungal da dungal ge gyodan da var ge je dungal me ben da va da ba da men da var ge je yere jada jedan da be da nyam che bola ne boran gyo ra je 창자와단 시진샤바단 제소이란 고신 소와이 개와주세 다기 지사바 탐제 다기 샹준셴호. Our group opening chants are done here. Now I have my personal chant little bit. Can you hear me? You can hear me, right? I just want to make sure you can. Okay. Okay, now I will pay my personal homage to the three Ratna and to my primary gurus out of many gurus by chanting some verses before I start talking. So my talk will be embraced by their unsurpassable blessings, and hopefully whatever I say during this evening teaching will be beneficial for those who hear it. Buddham gacchami sharanam yavatta bodhimandada dharmam gacchami sharanam bodhisattva ganam tada. That was supplication to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha in Sanskrit, composed by Shantideva. Namdo Zudrim Sargi Sashi Den Tenzin Pamer Lim Gobenze Sharami Den Name Chukunsa Tupju Dugun Dola Chansabo Medon Taze Peme Lamane Tibe Jangan Dao Shunoki Kari Tutu Kilon Sose Den Kevilon Den Kyola Shamsalo Nime Yada Pema Karaso Tuzum Keve Nungin Abai Namde Sume Gyawang Karma Bawar Gen Trilen Dorje Shamlado Mejun Tuye Samo Gugune Igdon Dola Labar Tutsewa Dorje Jangwon Jangwon Chukeje, Pema Tayan, Drube Shamlando, Ningbo Tunke, Tempa Pepeche, Dao Shuno, Drube Kurshenpa, Nakiwan Shun Dave Langso Shao, Lama Dawa Sangpe Shamlando, Kepan Dajan, Namki Yapjumbo, Gawa Kune, Kantan Habeko, Lapsum Suzin Tenje Chukeje, Mete Chukeje, Metato Kyo, Tata Simjen Tamje, Gingyu Singe Labdo So. Lujian Kunge Sadane, Shinda Ozara Tamje Da, Namka Legen Chuken Okay, my personal supplication are done now. And our main subject for tonight's Dharma talk is about Tathagata Garbha, Buddha nature, as it is translated in English. So I think Buddha nature should be the best English translation of Tathagata Garbha. Otherwise, according to both Sanskrit word Tathagata Garbha and Tibetan word Deshin Shekpe Nyingbo, it will be the essence of Buddha or the Buddha essence. But anyway, usually we just say Buddha nature. So we're going to talk about a little bit about Buddha nature tonight, which is the nature of all of us and which is my nature because I'm Sangye, you know. Sangye means Buddha. So I'm going to talk my own nature. Just kidding, okay. Okay, anyway, before we start our main topic, Tathagata Garbha, first of all, let me begin my talk with a little bit about the three turnings of Dharma wheels as a historical background of our topic, the Buddha nature for tonight. Well, after Siddhartha Gautama got enlightenment under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya and become a complete and perfect Buddha, he just remained in samadhi or meditation and did not teach any dharma for 7 weeks. Then the Lord of Devas or gods, Deva is Sanskrit word, so I usually use the Sanskrit word, Devas, the Lord of Dharma, which are the Brahma and Indra, descended from Deva realm to the human realm, and they offer a white conch, coiled to red, which in Tibetan we say Tungkar Ekil, because some of you may also understand Tibetan. That's why I'm going to use a Tibetan word from time to time. The white conch coiled to the right is we call Tungar Ekil, and 1,000 spoke wheel, the Tsibdong, Kolo Tsibdong Demba. So the Brahma and the Indra, which are the Lord of the Deva, they came down to the Buddha who was in the meditation, samadhi, after becoming enlightened, and they offered these two things to Buddha, and they request Buddha to teach. And then their words, when they request, they said, okay, now you have the quotation mark. Okay, this is the word of the Indra and the Brahma. Quotation mark. You do like that, right? Quotation mark. Okay, quotation mark. So two of this, God says, "O Buddha, treasure of compassion, living beings are like blind people, in constant danger of falling into the lower realms. Other than you, there is no protector in this world. Therefore, we beseech you, please rise from meditative equipoise and turn the wheel of Dharma." This is how Buddha was requested by Brahma and Indra to teach for the first time. Buddha had never taught yet after he became enlightened. So at this request from the Lord of Deva, Brahma and Indra, Buddha Shakyamuni gave his first teaching in Deer Park at Saranath. And this is known as the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. In this discourse, Buddha Shakyamuni mainly taught the Four Noble Truths, which you all know: the truth of suffering, the truth of the origin of suffering, the truth of the cessation of the suffering, and the truth of the path. Not only that, Buddha Shakyamuni also taught the interdependent nature, which in Sanskrit is pratitya samutpada, and karma, cause, effect, and so on, during the first turning of the wheel of Dharma. These are the basic practices for all Buddhist tradition. Subsequently, the Buddha Shakyamuni turned two more wheels of Dharma. At Virtue Peak Mountain in Rajgriha, which is not very far from Bodh Gaya, he gave a teaching known as the second turning of the wheel of Dharma. In this discourse, he taught mainly about the emptiness and the selflessness, which are the essence of the Prajnaparamita Sutra. And then there followed a period of many years of teachings at different places, such as Vaishali and so on. The teaching of this period are known as the third wheel of the Dharma, or third turning of the wheel of Dharma, during which he taught a variety of subjects, including the three nature and the Tathagata Garbha. The reason why I'm saying about this thing is I'm trying to let you know when the Buddha taught the Tathagata Garbha. So mainly, it was primarily taught during the third wheel of Dharma. And also, there are so many arguments which we don't have to go through as a practitioner. Some people say he already taught during the first turning of the Dharma. Some people also say second, but generally, it's said that he taught during the third turning of the wheel of Dharma. So during which he taught of the three nature, and Tathagata Garbha, and so on. The three nature are, in Sanskrit, it says three lakshana or three swabhava. In Tibetan, we say Tsenyusum, which are imputed, that is called parikalpita or kunda in Tibetan, and dependent or paratantara, shenwang in Tibetan, and truly existent or completely accomplished. Sanskrit is parinishpana, in Tibetan we say yongdrup. And these are the three categories into which the mind-only school divide all phenomena. So nevertheless, since these are not our main subject for tonight, I'm not going to say anything more about them today, because I just tell you the name, because I was talking about the three different kind of turning of the Dharma wheel. In brief, anyway, all the Dharma teaching that have been given taught by Buddha Shakyamuni more than 2,500 years ago could be summarized into Triyanas and 4 philosophical schools. So Triyana, these days, most people says like Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, but actually in the text, we usually say the Sharvakayana, Pratyeka Buddhayana, and Bodhisattvayana. But even we say that, it's the same thing, we're saying the same thing. When we say Sharvakayana, Pratyeka Buddhayana, and Bodhisattvayana, then when we say Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, now here, when this way, the Hinayana is divided in 2 different schools. Both Sharvakayana and Pratyeka Buddhayana are the Hinayana, and Mahayana and Vajrayana is put into one, which is we call the Bodhisattvayana. So it's same, it doesn't matter whichever you count, whether you say Sharvakayana, Pratyeka Buddhayana, and Bodhisattvayana, or Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana. It's same. Okay. And then, no matter how you count them, they are the same. And the 4 philosophical schools are Vaibhashika, Sautantrika, Chitramatra, and Madhyamika. And each of these yanas and philosophical school has a complete path that leads to liberation, each with their own particular view, meditation, and conduct, as well as their own ground path and probation. There are also a lot of subdivision in each of these yana and school, but we don't have to go through all of them for sure, because we don't need them. Let's say like only purpose of studying Buddhist philosophy, vast and profound philosophy, is to gain certainty in the ultimate truth. So each individual is different from each other, and then they have different karmic, some of them, because of their previous karma, they have naturally certain have trust and then certainty in the ultimate truth. If you do have that, then we don't have to go through so much, instead of going through so many studies, we just start practicing. That's good. But for some people, they are always doubtful and they don't get certainty easily in the ultimate truth. Then there's lots of different studies you can do that will bring you certainty. So therefore, in general, I don't like to go too much study because I like to practice more. Okay. For example, once when 3 geishas, geishas, right? Geisha is like Khenpo. Now, in Kadamba tradition, they use like geishas. And now even in the Giluk tradition, they use geishas, not Khenpos. So during the Adisha, you all know Adisha, right? Adisha is one of the most famous Indian master that came to Tibet. So once when 3 geishas requested him to teach about Buddhist logic, the great Indian scholar Adisha said, okay, now the quotation mark. This is what Adisha said. The non-Buddhist Trutikas and Buddhists themselves have many different systems of logic, but they are all just chains of discursive thought. There is no need for all of those innumerable ideas. Life is too short to go through all of them. Now is the time to reduce this teaching to their essence, like that. So that's what he said. Also, there are more quotation about that. Therefore, same here. I just gave you some name of the different yanas and different philosophical schools, but of course, we don't have to go through the detail there. Our main topic of tonight, and this Wednesday evening, is the Tathagata Dharma, the Buddha nature. So it was taught primarily during the third turning of the wheel of Dharma by our great teacher, the Shakyamuni Buddha. Generally speaking, the Tathagata Garbha is an extremely profound and vast subject. I think it is one of the most profound and vast subjects of the whole teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha. Am I talking too fast? Should I do slow? Because I have always get complaint of speaking too fast, and I'm concerning about the time because we don't have too much time. That's why I may be too fast. Let me slow down a little bit, okay? And also, I have a natural way of speaking very fast in any language. When even I talk with the people, friend in Tibetan, they always complain, why you talk so fast, like that. In English, because my English is not perfect, I get kind of nervous that it makes me faster. Okay, anyway, there are many different ways of presenting it. There are many different ways of presenting the Tathagata Dharma. It could be presented in a very academic way or a very practical way and so on. And I'm not quite sure how I should present it because I don't know any of you personally who are listening to my talk tonight. So I don't know for sure which way is the most suitable for you. Therefore, I think I'm going to present it in the middle way, not too academic and not too practical way. So let me try my best. Anyway, the Tathagata Garbha has been explained in various, okay, pronunciation, okay, right? Various, various. Lama Yishe, I can see you. If I say, okay, then you do like that, okay? Then I understand. Okay, good. Otherwise, I'm not sure if I'm doing okay or not okay with my pronunciation, because my English not really good. Anyway, uh, Anyway, the Tathagata Garbha has been explained in various ways by the scholars and accomplished masters of different Buddhist traditions around the world. Even in the Tibetan Buddhism itself, there are various commentaries on Tathagata Garbha by many great scholars and accomplished masters, teachers. One of the most unique way of explaining it is that of the Jonang tradition. Jonang tradition. Maybe you may not know the Jonang. Usually we say Tibetan has four great lineages like Kagyu, Nyingma, Satya, Giluba, and sometimes we also call five. If we say five lineages, then Jonang is one of them. So anyway, Jonang, one of the most unique way of explaining Tathagata Garbha is that of the Jonang tradition. The origin of Jonang tradition in Tibet can be traced to early 12th century master Yolmo Mikyu Dorje, but it became much wider known with the help of Tolpopa Sharp Jensen. Tolpopa Sharp Jensen is the name, is the master that we supplicate in the Lama Gyangbo, calling a guru afar, which was composed by Gyangbo Kongtru. We always, these days, in KDT, we are doing every morning, you know that, because we are having the retreat of 4-session Guru Yoga. So during at the end of the last session in the morning, we have to do this. So we always say, Kungyo Tolpo Sangye Keno, like that. So he is the one. We calling him Tolpo Sangye. And then Jonang school's main practice comes from the Kalachakra cycle. The Jonang tradition combines two specific teaching, what has come to be known as the Shendong philosophy of Shunyata and the draw lineage of Kalachakra Tantra. So again, draw lineage is in Tibetan is the Droluk, because there is a two main well-known lineage of Kalachakra, which is called Raluk and Droluk. These are all named after the translation. No, not the translator, after the translator. Okay, so anyway, the origin of this combination in Tibet is traced to the master Yolmo Mikyu Dorje, who was a great Tibetan Buddhist master and a student of the Kashmiri master Somanatha. So this is the Indian master who brought this lineage to Tibet. The Jonang school generated a number of renowned Buddhist scholars like Dolpo Bashar Gyaltsen, among which the most famous teacher was Taranatha. Again, Taranatha is in our Lama Gyangpo. Again, we always supplicate him these days. Jebsen Taranatha Keno, Namsum Ponye in like that. Jebsen Taranatha Keno. We just did this morning and we're going to do it tomorrow morning again. Okay, anyway. Okay. Taranatha, who placed great emphasis on the Kala Chakra Tantra. And now you have to, these two terms, again, because we are talking about the Buddha nature. In the Prasangika itself, there's called Rangtong and Shentong. Rangtong means empty of self-nature, and Shentong means literally other emptiness. Are two distinct views on emptiness, shunyata, within Tibetan Buddhism. Rangtong is a philosophical term in Tibetan Buddhism that is used to distinguish the majority Madhyamika's teaching on the meaning of shunyata or emptiness, namely that all phenomena are empty of an enduring and unchanging essence or self, and that this emptiness is not an absolute reality, but a mere nominal characterization. This is always very difficult to pronounce for me. Characterization. No, okay, right? Okay? No, okay. Character is very good. Characterization. Okay, okay, of phenomena. It is related to the Prasangika approach, which argues that no syllogistic form of reasoning should be used to debate the notion of inherent existence, but only arguments which shows the logical implication and absurdity of position based upon inherent existence. Shendong is a philosophical term in Tibetan Madhyamika too. It applies shunyata in a specific way, agreeing that relative reality is empty of self-nature, but stating that absolute reality or paramartha satya is non-dual Buddha-jana and empty only of others. Relative phenomena, but itself is not empty and truly existing. This absolute reality is described by positive terms, an approach which helps to overcome certain residual subtle concept and the habit of negating, my pronunciation is not very good, negating whatever experiences arises in his or her mind. It destroys false concept, as does Prasangika, but it also alerts the practitioner to the presence of a dynamic, positive reality that is to be experienced once the conceptual mind is defeated. Shendong was systematized, right? Systematized, put in a system, systematized, right? Systematized, okay? Okay, I'm learning English. Okay, systematized and articulated, okay, pronunciation, okay? Okay. Under that name by Tolbopa Sharp Gelsen, who identify absolute reality with the Buddha nature. See, the reason why I have to go through very concise way is because we are talking about Buddha nature. Of course, if we go in an extensive way, then it can take many years. In the Sheta, we study like 9 years, 10 years like that. Here we have only 90 minutes. But still, I need to go a little bit because it has something to do with the Buddha nature. Okay, anyway, we Karma Kagyu, accept and follow the Shandong view in general. Most of the Kagyu master hold the teaching on Buddha nature, or Tathagata Garbha, to be of definitive meaning. Nithartha. In Sanskrit, we say Nithartha. In Tibetan, we say Ngedun, or definitive meaning. That's how it is translated in English. And they deny that the Buddha nature is just mere emptiness or a non-implicative negation, or Tibetan word is mega, we say. Even though the approach of Kagyu about Tathagata Garbha has certain similarities, right? That's how you pronounce similarities, sameness, right? Similarities. Okay, thank you very much, Lama Yishen Yunden, for shaking your head. That gives me confidence in my English. Okay. Even though the approach of Kagyu about Tathagata Garbha has certain similarities with Tolpopa's view of it, but they are not identical. No, they are not exactly the same. The Kagyu approach is generally less absolute than the Tolpopa's approach and shows several significant differences, such as not claiming that the qualities of Buddha exist in their full-blown form, even in confused sentient beings, and not making such an absolute distinction between the two realities as Tolpopa does. As far as Buddha nature is concerned, the view of the third karmapa, Rangjung Dorje, is generally considered to be the most authoritative, right? Authoritative. Doing okay? Not shaking your head. Okay, let me use different word. Maybe I just can say the most genuine, or more genuine. Okay, I cannot say this authoritative in Kagyu tradition. Anyway, as far as the Buddha nature is concerned, the view of the third Karmapa, Rangjung Dorje, is generally considered to be the most genuine, more correct, more authoritative in Kagyu tradition. This is the view that Buddha nature is mind's luminous ultimate nature or non-dual wisdom, which is the basis of everything in samsara and nirvana. Okay, the union of the wisdom and emptiness is the essence of Buddhahood, or what is called Buddha nature, Tathagata Garbha. Because it contains the very seed, the potential of Buddhahood, it resides in each and every sentient being, and because of possessing this essential nature, the Buddha nature, there is the possibility of achieving Buddhahood for all sentient beings. Okay, there are many sutras. Now I'm going to give you some, because if you like to study the sutra, I'm going to give you some name of the sutras that Buddha taught, in which he also taught the Buddha nature. So there are many sutras in which Buddha taught about Tathagata Garbha. First one, okay, let me give you the names of some of the most well-known sutras among them. The first one is just called Tathagata Garbha Sutra. It's easy, huh? Easy to remember. It's called, Deshin Shekpe Nyingbu Do in Tibetan, Deshin Shekpe Nyingbu Do, or Tathagata Garbha Sutra. If you translate in English, then it will be the Buddha Nature Sutra. That's it, right? That's one of them. And then another sutra requested by Dharani Shawaraja, or in Tibetan, Sungjalgi Shube Do. And then another one is Mahaparinirvana Sutra, Nyangelen Debe Khenpo Do. And another one, Angulimala Sutra. In Tibetan, we say Sormu Tengwa La Pen Dakpe Do. And then I'm going to give you the names of the 10 different sutra in which Buddha taught Buddha nature. So in the future, if you like to study, you can go go through any of these sutra. Lion's Roar of Srimala Devi Sutra, or Sanskrit name is Arya Sri Mala Devi Singha Nada Nama Mahayana Sutra. Tibetan name for this sutra is Palten Sangye Naru Shube Do. And then sixth one, the ornament of light of awareness that enter the domain of all Buddha Sutra. Sanskrit name is Arya Sarva Buddha Vishwaya Avatara Jnana Aloka Alankara Nama Mahayana Sutra. A Tibetan name for this sutra is Khenpo Sangye Trinley Yula Jugbe Ishe Nawa Gengi Do. And then 7-1, I'm going to give you the name is Tibetan name is Peltip Maple Tempe Do. Sanskrit name is very long. Anunat wa Purana Vani Desha Sutra. And then 8-1, Great Drum Sutra, Ngavoche Do in Tibetan. And then 9-1, the Dharani entering into non-conceptuality. Arya Apikala Pravesya Nama Dharani. In Tibetan, number Mitokpala Jugbe Do. And the last one in my list, which is the 10th, is Dode Gongdel, Samadhi Nirmochana Sutra. So in mainly Buddha taught the Tathagata Garbha in this sutra. And all these sutra are Mahayana Buddhist sutra of Buddha nature. As far as I know, the original Sanskrit text of this sutra doesn't exist right now anymore, except for a small number of fragments, but they survive in Tibetan language. I think some of them are available in different languages too, such as Chinese language. Now, I'm going to give you the true name of the what you call the treatises, right? You say treatises, right? Treatises. Shastra, in Sanskrit is Shastra, in Tibetan we say Tencho, but I usually don't agree with the English translation treatises. Because treatises, as far as my understanding of this word is concerned, treatise means some, a big text which has many long, something like that. But in Tibetan, we say Tenjo, or Sanskrit, we say Shastra. It has its own definition to be the Shastra. Just to have a profound and vast text is not Shastra. Shastra means Chogyop in Tibetan we say any books that can tame your mind and that can protect you from a lower realm temporarily and from samsara ultimately. And this is the definition of any Shastra or Tenjo, which is translated as a treatise in English. So whenever I say in English, I give the Buddhist definition. Otherwise, you don't understand. So, two most well-known treatises or Shastra about Buddha nature are that, there are two most well-known Shastra about Buddha nature that I know. One is, you all know, is very well-known, Uttara Tantra Shastra. Uttara Tantra Shastra is composed by the Maitrayanath. In English, again, you say Maitrayanath Buddha, but we never say Buddha. He is not Buddha yet. That's we never say Maitrayanath Buddha. We just say Gyalsap Jamgun. Jamgun means Maitrayanath. Nath is Gombo, protector. Maitreya, he will become a fifth Buddha, but he is not Buddha yet. That's why we say the text that was composed by him is regarded as a treatise, not a ka or ka and tenjo. We have ka and tenjo in Tibetan. Ka means everything that was taught by Buddha is called ka, and everything that was written by his follower to comment or to explain Buddha's teaching is what we call the tenjo. So this Uttara Tantra Shastra was composed by Maitrayanath Buddha. No, you say, I also say Buddha. Okay, let's say Maitrayanath Buddha. Maitrayanath in Tushita and Asanga brought into human realm for the benefit of all of us, including ourselves. So, Uttara Tantra Shastra is the most well-known Shastra or treatise that teaches about the Buddha nature. And even Gampopa, you all know Gampopa, right? Lord of Gampopa, our one of our forefathers. One of our three forefathers. Four is not the number four. Okay, forefathers, the previous father. I always have a problem with my pronunciation. We have three forefathers, which are Marba, Mila, and Gampopa. So Gampopa says, our original source of Mahamudra is Uttara Tantra Shastra. That's why the Uttara Tantra Shastra is very important for us. But anyway, Asanga brought it to human realm for the benefit of all sentient beings in general, and particularly for benefit of human beings, which includes all of us. And the second one is the treatise on pointing out the Tathagata heart, or that in Tibetan we say Teshin Shekpe Ningbo Tenpe Tenjo, which was composed by the third Gyawang Karmapa Rangjung Dorje. As I was saying, telling you earlier, that as far as the Tathagata Gapa is concerned, the view of the third Karmapa is considered to be the most genuine, more correct, more authoritative. He also has composed a text on it, which is called the Shin Shekpe Nyingpo Tenpa. Anyway, so that was little bit very concise. What's your philosophical kind of introduction about the Buddha nature. But if you go in a very concise way, then Buddha nature is nothing but the nature of our own mind, and it has so many different names. In Mahamudra, we says sometimes we says Tamalki Shepa, which is translated as a ordinary mind, right? Right? Ordinary mind, right? Ordinary mind. Yeah. And then sometimes we also say Lenjik Gebe Yishe, which means the co-emergent wisdom. I usually translate Lenjik Geba is like spontaneously arisen wisdom, because Tibetan word is Lenjik Geba means Geba is arisen and Lenjik is spontaneously, So anyway, and then sometimes we just say Deshen, bread please, in Mahamudra term. And then in Dzogchen we say Rigpa, Rigpa awareness. In Madhyamika General Sutra term we say like ultimate bodhicitta, which is described as the unity of the emptiness and great compassion and so forth. These are all talking the same thing. So this is the nature of our mind, and then nothing than that. Okay, now I'm going to read a quotation from Jamgon Mipam Rinpoche. Jamgon Mipam Rinpoche is one of the very well-known scholar in Nyingma tradition, and then also we have a very special connection with him, especially Tanggu Monastery. That's why we always do this Trashi prayer. Trashi prayer was composed by him. We always, Khenpo Rinpoche also always recite that, Om Nang Se Nam Da Rang She Lun Drube. So it was composed by Mipam Rinpoche. And nowadays, there is something called the Wangdu Soldep, the supplication of magnetizing, and His Holiness advise us to recite as much as we can individually and also in the group. That's why I always these days I'm always reciting in the KTT Shuan room whenever I'm Umse. I did today also. So he's the one, Mipam Rinpoche, and this Wangdu Solde was also composed by him. So I'm going to read a quotation from Jamgon Mipam Rinpoche, which explains the basic general idea of Buddha nature in the most simple and easy way that I know of so far. So I am going to read not the Tibetan, I have Tibetan text, but I'm just going to read the English translation very slowly, what he said about the Buddha nature. Okay. He says, okay, quotation mark, he says, quotation mark, like 3 finger, right? 1 finger, 3 finger, quotation mark. Okay, like that. Okay. Mipam Rinpoche says, the naturally present potential. Sanskrit word is Pratisha Gotra, or in Tibetan we say Rangshik Nerik. When we talk about the Buddha nature, also we have a different way of saying. One is called Rangshik Nerin. So this is translated translated as a naturally present potential, is the essence of the Tathagatas. Okay. In essence, it is naturally arising and uncompounded wisdom, the union of awareness and emptiness. I'm trying to read it as slow as possible. Okay. The Dharma Dhatu, which has always been inseparable from the Kaya's and primordial wisdom. In Tibetan, we say Gudang Yixie. Gudang Yixie, not Lama Yixie. Okay, Gudang Yixie. just chasing Lama. Gudang Yixie. Kaya's and primordial wisdom. It is naturally pure, the nature of things, just as it is, pervading all phenomena beyond any transition or change, like space. Although it is within the context that the ordinary aggregates, in Tibetan say pungpo, elements, in Tibetan say kam, and faculties, Tibetan we say wangpo, of being are born and die, this nature itself remains beyond birth and death. It is through the realization of this nature that the three jewels come into being. This immaculate element, come, sangmeji come, I usually translate this as this in Tibetan word uncontaminated, but this one says immaculate, so I think the same. Anyway, because I don't have much vocabulary, English vocabulary, so when I see the same word that I use, I feel better. Okay, this immaculate element is present in all beings without exceptions as the very nature of their minds. Just like the example of treasure beneath the earth and so on. Nevertheless, for those in whom this nature remains obscure by the four stands and who have not activated their potential, despite its presence, it does not function in an apparent way. And although they are naturally pure, because they are obscured by temporary stand, this nature is beyond most people's imagination. If the stands that obscure the potential are reduced, it serves to inspire us with a longing to leave samsara behind and attain nirvana. The four stands that obscure our potential are an antipathy to the Mahayana teachings. In Tibetan we say, Tekpa Chebu Chula Kongtowa. The view of self, Daktu Tawa. Fear for the sufferings of samsara, Kowe Dungalgi Jigba. And lack of concern for beings' welfare. Semjen Tela, Tepa Mepa. The causes for purifying these stands are an interest in the Mahayana teaching, a superior wisdom, meditative concentration, samadhi, and love. Tibetan word is Tekwa Chimbu Chöla Meba, Plakbe Sherab, Tinginzi, Yinzewa the Hyo. When we possess these four through the forces of awakening our potential, we come to possess the developing potential, which is in Sanskrit say Samudanita Gotra, or in Tibetan we say Gyegyur Girik, through which we can properly cultivate the virtues of the Mahayana. Okay, now quotation is done from Mipam Rinpoche. This is what Mipam Rinpoche said. Now, then I thought it's a very good. I didn't mix any of my word. This whole his word. Now I'm going to say my word again, since we have little time. Okay, so if you wonder how we know that all sentient beings possesses the Tathagata Garbha, then the answer is we know it by scriptural, right? Scriptural prediction or quotation. Scriptural is okay. In Tibetan, it's a lung. Lung is scriptural protection. Okay, okay. Scriptural. Now I'm getting worse. Okay, scriptural protection that was taught by Buddha Shakyamuni and by the reasoning. First one, okay, the quotation from Buddha. Out of innumerous scriptural protection, I will present some of those which were quoted by Lord of Dharma Gampopa in the ornament of precious liberation. Okay, now let's say, you all know the book, the well-known book, the ornament of precious liberation, which was composed by Gampopa. So first chapter of this is about Buddha nature, which he said the cause of becoming a Buddha. So in this, Gampopa says, in the Samadhi Raja Sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha said, okay, this is quotation from Buddha that was quoted into the ornament of the precious liberation. Okay, now this is the word of Buddha. The Tathagata Garbha pervades all sentient beings. Okay, again in the Parinirvana Sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha said, all sentient beings are endowed with the Tathagata Garbha. Again, in the Mahaparinirvana Sutra, Shakyamuni Buddha said, for example, as butter permits milk. Am I doing okay? My pronunciation okay? Because the very nature of the milk is butter. If you churn, then you get the milk. You get the butter from the milk, right? Milk. Okay, you understand my pronunciation? Okay, like that. Okay. For example, as butter permits milk, likewise, the Tathagata Garbha pervades all sentient beings. That's what Buddha said. Again, many more quotations are available in the Sutra and Shastra. The second one, by reasoning, is Lord of the Dharma Gampopa in the ornament of precious liberation said the following words with a quotation from Uttara Tantra Shastra. As I said earlier, Gampopa has quotation from Maitreya Nath to prove, to give a reason why all the sentient beings have Buddha nature. Okay, this is the words of Maitreya Nath. He said, by what reasoning it can be shown? No, this is still the word of Gampopa. By what reasoning can it be shown that sentient beings have Buddha nature? Because all sentient beings are pervaded by the emptiness of Dharmakaya, because there are no differentiation in the nature of suchness, and because all beings have a family. This is not our family, like this is rig in Tibet, like 5 Buddha family, we say like that. So there are different family, like Shavaka family, Pratika Buddha family, and then disconnected family, and uncertain family, and Bodhisattva family, like that. So this is when I say family, it's not like husband, wife, children, like that. That family, okay? I'm good. Okay. So there are 3 reasons. Because all sentient beings are pervaded by the emptiness of Dharmakaya, because there is no differentiation in the nature of suchness, and because all beings have a family. So for these 3 reasons, all sentient beings are of the Buddha nature. Okay, now the word from Maitreya from the Uttarattana Shastra. Because the perfect form of Buddha radiates, because there are no distinction within suchness, and because all are in a family. All sentient beings are always of the Tathagata Garbha. Okay, to explain the first reason, all sentient beings are pervaded by the emptiness of Dharmakaya means that the ultimate Buddhahood is Dharmakaya. And Dharmakaya is all-pervading emptiness, and emptiness pervades all sentient beings. Therefore, all sentient beings are of the Buddha nature. I'm still reading the word from Gampopa, okay? Saying There are no differentiation in the nature of suchness means that the suchness of the Buddha is identical to the suchness of sentient being. None is better or worse. None is bigger or smaller. None is higher or lower. So, because of that, all sentient beings are of the Buddha nature. Okay? Okay. Now, let me say the Buddha nature is in okay. There is a one very famous, well-known quotation from Uttara Shastra again, which says, "Sangye yihi semjen soju shir gangjen jime dene nime de sangye regla dete nyata chi rogun sangye nyimbo jendu song." Okay, I'm going to read the English translation of this. It is said, this is from Triyana Buddha again, from the Uttara Shastra. It is said that all beings possess Buddhahood's essence, since the Buddha jhana has ever been in them present. Also, since the immaculate nature is non-dual and the Buddha potential is named after its fruit. Okay. Jamgo Khondu explained this one in this way. Since Buddha wisdom is always present within the assembly of beings, since this undefiled nature is free from duality, and since the disposition to Buddhahood has been named after its fruit, the Dharmachakra of a perfect Buddha embrace and pervade all phenomena with regard to suchness or the true state of the entirety of samsara and nirvana. There is no slightest differentiation. The disposition of the Tathagata is present within all sentient beings in terms of the Dharma Dhatu, being by nature pure and its obscuration being able to be purified. For this reason, all sentient beings have had the nature of the absolute Buddha, always and uninterrupted since beginningless time. As the Buddha Bhagavan said in the Sutta, all sentient beings always have the Tathagata Garbha. Okay, now let me say the phases. There are three phases of Buddha nature. Three phases, right? Phases. Phases, not phase, okay? Phases or vocation, maybe we can say vocation. And Tibetan word is mata takpa tang shindu namda korem shin semjin chanchup sempa tang deshin shekwa she juto. This is again from the quotation from the Uttara Shastra. What it means is, it says, the unpurified, the both purified and the utterly purified phases are expressed in their given order by names being Bodhisattva and Tathagata. Okay. And so Jamgo Controller Thai says, there are three kinds of occasion or phases when the Buddha nature is impure, stained by defilements. This is mata in Tibetan. When the Buddha nature is still stained but in the process of being cleaned, mata dhagpa in Tibetan. And when Buddha nature is absolutely free from stain, shintu namda in Tibetan. These occasions correspond to the state of ordinary sentient beings the state of Bodhisattva and the state of Tathagata. So, for example, our Buddha nature, we have Buddha nature, but we are called sentient beings, not the Bodhisattva or not Buddha, because our, even though we have the Buddha nature, it is totally covered by defilement, by kleshas. Therefore, we are called the sentient beings. That's the first phase. And second phase is those Bodhisattva who are on the levels, because their, even though their Buddha nature is not completely pure yet, but most of the defilement has been purified already. So it's called Mata Thagpa, means pure and unpure. So those people are called Bodhisattva. Who has this Buddha nature, pure and unpure both, this is called the Bodhisattva. And those, the Buddha nature in the Buddha are completely pure, so they are called the Buddha. That's it. So these are the three vocations or three phases: sentient beings, bodhisattvas, and Buddha. So again, when Buddha nature is totally covered by defilement, and it's called the sentient being. When Buddha nature is not totally purified, but in the process of purifying, and it's called bodhisattva. And when Buddha nature is totally purified, and it's called Buddha. So these are the three phases that are taught in Uttara Tantra Shastra. So in Tibetan say Mata, Thakvata, Shindu Namda. Mata, first is Mata means unpure, and second is Mata, Thakvata means pure and unpure, and Shindu Namda means totally, utterly, very pure, extremely pure. Okay, okay, and then, okay, since we have little time, I would like to say one quotation again from Uttara Shastra again, which says in Tibetan, Dila salja chiyang me, shakbar chawa jungse me, yangda nyela, yangda ta, yangda tonan rover gyur. And then let me read the translation first. Nothing whatsoever is to be removed, right? Removed, taken away, removed. Not the slightest thing is to be added. Truly looking at the truth, the truth is sin. Truly looking at truth is sin. Okay, this is the translation of these words. So this is the why I would like to explain this particular verse is because this is teaching us how we can realize, how to realize and purify our Buddha nature. So it says, nothing whatever is to be removed means even temporarily our Buddha nature covered by defilement, but in its very nature, it has never been contaminated. That is what it means. The real nature of Buddha nature, in the essence of Buddha nature or our nature has never been contaminated by any defilement, any stain. Therefore, there is nothing to be removed from there. And then also all the Buddha qualities are naturally present there, so we don't have to add anything more to make it more precious, to make yes. Then what we should do is yangda nila yangda ta. Truly looking at truth means we have to know the right way to look at in the right way. Then the truth is sin means then you know the nature of your mind. Truth is sin. Truth here is the Buddha nature, it will say. So this is how it is practiced. And I have Yangda Tonon Robert yes. And then when sin, this is complete liberation. See, this is last word. It says, Tila salcha chiyang me, shakbar jawa jungse me, yangda nila yangda ta, yangda tonon Robert means I would like to go until we get liberated, okay? So it says, nothing whatsoever is to be removed, not the slightest things is to be added. Truly looking at truth, truth is sin. When sin means when the truth is sin, this is complete liberation. So this is how we can become liberated, or how we can get liberation. Okay, now let me read. We still have some time. Let me read the commentary on it by Jamgo Kongtrul on this particular stanza. Jamgo Kongtrul Lodotaye, the great, explained this stanza as following. This Sugata Garbha, okay, Tathagata Garbha, Sugata Garbha is same. Because Buddha has many names in Sanskrit, and then that's all translated in Tibetan also many. So the Tathagata is Tibetan is Deshin Shekpa, Sugata is Deshin in Tibetan is Devara Shekpa, and then sometimes you call Dershek Ningpo means Sugata Garbha. So anyway, Buddha nature. Jamgo Kongtrul quotation. Jamgo Kongtrul says, this Sugata Garbha, or this element by nature completely pure, does not have any afflicting fault whatsoever. So that is the first word. Is nothing whatsoever is to be removed. Or in Tibetan, Tila Sacha Chiyang Me. So this Sugata Garbha, or this element by nature completely pure, does not have any afflicting fault whatsoever. There are no stand existing in the nature of the element. Element, in Tibetan we say come. That's why it's called element, which means the Buddha nature here. So element here means Buddha nature. Or Buddha nature also have many different names in Tibetan. Come, rig, Dershek Ningpo, like that. So rig is what earlier we said family, family is rig, and element is come. So Jamgo Kongtrul is using the come. That's why he translation become the element. So there are constants existing in the nature of the element that are formerly present and have to be removed. Its nature is such that it has been free from all the low in Tibetan is adventitious, right? Adventitious, correct pronunciation. Okay, you understand, right? Adventitious stands means the lower temporary, free from all the adventitious stands without any exception since beginningless time. Okay. Similarly, now the second word, Tibetan is Shakpar Chawa Chungse Me, or English is not the slightest thing is to be added. And now Jamgon Kongtrul is explaining this, the second word. Similarly, not in the slightest way is there any completely purified quality that is formerly not present and has to be added. Is that clear? Did I read clearly? You understand, right? Okay. Then if I read clearly, that's good enough for me because I cannot explain better than Jamgo Kongtrul, right? So my job is just to read correctly that you understand. Okay, that's Jamgo Kongtrul is explaining. So I'm surely wouldn't be better than him. So I don't have to explain. Its nature is such that the absolute qualities, the powers, and so on. Okay, the powers here, again, when we talk about the Buddha's qualities, then we have something called 10 powers, and then like that. So that's why it's the powers and so on. Wang Pola Soba have been spontaneously present since beginningless time and are equivalent to the true state, which is completely indivisible. Indivisible or indivisible? Cannot divide. Indivisible, right? Indivisible, divisible. Divisible. Okay. Thank you, Lama. Your head is being very useful for me. Okay. Okay. Which is completely indivisible. Thus, the object to be perceived is suchness, the true Dhammadhatu, which is free from the true extreme. I'm still reading the word from Jamgon Control. Okay, I'm not saying my own word. Now, the perceiving subject is the authentic discriminative wisdom which knows the absolute through looking directly at this truth. Okay, see, now Jamgon Control is explaining the last two words. Truly, truth is sin. He is explaining this line now. In Tibetan is Yangda Nila, Yangda Da, Yangda Tong and Robert Gu. He's explaining here. Okay. Through looking directly at this true Dhammadhatu by means of this discriminative wisdom and through resting within it in meditative equipoise, one will become supremely familiar with it and promote the wisdom which directly sees the authentic meaning of the actual true state will gradually arise. Through this, seeing one attain complete liberation from the adventitious stands that are to be abandoned. First, one will be completely free from the stand to be abandoned through seeing on the path of seeing. Subsequent, okay, now Jamgon Kongtrul is also relating with the five paths. Now he's talking about the path of seeing. Subsequently, one will be completely freed from the stand to be abandoned through the meditation of the path of meditation. Finally, one will be completely free from the true obscuration along with their remaining imprints without any exception on the path of final perfection or third Chimbalam. Then you become enlightened. Okay, I think it's a good place to stop. We all become enlightened now. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here. I have many here, but I think it's a good place to stop, I think. And also, I've been doing puja all day today, and particularly I'm Umze, so I can stop, just keep chanting. Tomorrow also I need to do whole day. Therefore, I think it's good time to stop, and we'll do the dedication prayer. Okay? Lama Yishi, okay? Okay, thank you. So of course, as I said, Buddha nature is not something easy, and for the practitioner, you don't need to go through all these different views and argument, all of this. But if you want to become a scholar on Buddha nature, then you can spend your whole life studying about it. Which scholar says what, like for example, how Kagyupa explain, how Gelugpa explain, how Nyingma explain, how Sakyapa explain, how Chonapa explain, so forth. And but as a practitioner, uh, 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 if we have full confidence that we have Buddha nature, and that's good enough for us. That means, as Gampopa explained in his the text, the ornament of precious liberation, Buddha nature is the cause of becoming a Buddha. And then second, condition, good again, and then human body and so forth like that. So without having the cause, no matter how much fertilizer and so forth you have, you will never get the result. So therefore, if we have full confidence in the teaching of Buddha nature, that Buddha says all sentient beings has Buddha nature, if we have full confidence, then that's good enough for us. We don't have to waste time of going through all the different view and so forth. But as I said earlier, because each and every individual is different from each other, and also everyone has different karma. Some people doesn't get confidence easily. For them, then you should go through the studies, quotation, reasoning until you get full confidence. And for those who have full confidence by the good karma of previous life, and from the beginning, then you just practice based on that confidence, and that's not good enough. So as I said today, also we have this much time, so we cannot go much more than that. So we're going to stop here. And now, oh, it's already 22. 22. So we do in prayer. First, we do the long life karma bar, and then some. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Oi, jalgun yinji rangson karma ba, jalgun chile jigdon karma ba, jalgun dunso wangkun karma ba, orgin chile shabden, orgin dundun chile shabden so, sonam de tamje zikpa ni, tomne nyebe ranam pamje, jaga na she bala chupa Sibe sole roan yun dokunen yun ro sho jambala pawo chidra kemba kundu sambo tenyan teshin teta kungen jeso da lo gyawan tita tamje rabdo ngo sangye kusum nyebe shinlab chunye mingyo debe shinlab dan gende mijen debe shinlab before we do the Dushileja, we do some meditation on dedication prayer. So, as you all know, in order for us to bring our event tonight on the Mahayana path, it should be include the three excellences, which are I translated as in Tibetan is we say Dhampasum. Uh, there are many different translation in English, and I usually like to say the three excellences. When you say that, then the first is the excellent beginning of bodhicitta. We did that meditation. And second one is called the excellent main practice of non-conceptuality. So while we're teaching, I was also concentrate and distracted teaching you, and you also undistracted listening to me. So that was the second excellence, which is we call the excellent main practice of non-conceptuality. And now the dedication is called the last one is called the excellent conclusion of dedication. And again, there are so many different way of dedicating, and the best one is dedicating free of three sphere. That we cannot do now. We are not at that level yet. So what we can do is we can just think the same way how the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the past dedicate their merit for the benefit of others. I'm also going to do the same way, whatever merit I have accumulated through listening Dharma tonight and all the virtuous action that I have accumulated in the past, and I will be accumulated in the future, and I'm accumulating right now, put all together, and I am more than happy to let them go for the benefit of all sentient beings. So therefore, I'm going to dedicate all those things for the benefit of sentient beings. We should think that way, and we do 1 minute meditation on that subject. Then we will do the auspicious last word, the Dushi Lega. Okay. We do meditation right now. Okay, so before we say good night and the auspicious word, I would like to thank all of you in general for participating tonight's event and your patience to listen my broken English, and particularly I would like to thank the translator, a Spanish and Chinese translator, and Yunden Rabge for controlling the machine, the computer, and also Lama Yeshe for shaking your head for me, like doing like that. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. Now let's do the last word, the auspicious words. Yunden, can you show that? Dushi Legya. Oh, yes, this one. Okay. Oen dushi legya gyalwen chenle pa karma pa den tenpe jingbo choda kun kyab kyab jin gyume ji takpa ren pe 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 zha xi shu